Recently, CartesianTheist decided he wanted to try and attack the statement popularized by Carl Sagan that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. It is very beneficial for occult believers like CartesianTheists to try and undermine or even refute this statement, since their beliefs and claims are very extraordinary. If they can undermine or refute that statement, then they can get others to believe in their extraordinary claims without having to do the work to provide the commensurate evidence to back up said claims. Sagan's statement was recently attacked by Aaron Cade in 1994 as well, and what a surprise, he's Christian too. The first error CartesianTheist makes is that he seems to think some atheists or skeptics treat the statement as a law of logic. I know of no atheists or skeptics that use it as a law of logic, or think it is a law of logic. Carl Sagan's statement is simply a reason-based heuristic for determining the validity or likelihood of a claim, and for establishing that the more unlikely a claim is, the more evidence it needs to support it, or that it simply requires compelling evidence to match. The second error CartesianTheist makes is that he says Carl Sagan's statement is making a claim about truth. That is false. Carl Sagan's statement is making a claim about claims. The third error CartesianTheist makes is that he says a statement is extraordinary. This is simply absurd, since a statement is based on reason and common sense, which is not extraordinary, but rather essential to knowledge and survival. Further, the statement is not extraordinary itself because it's not referring to its own referral. It's referring to other claims. The statement extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence is epistemic. It's not talking about itself, but rather it is a principle or rule of thumb when assessing the merit, validity, or likelihood of other claims. That we should have sufficient evidence to match the nature of the claim being made. If a claim is mundane, mundane evidence will do. If a claim is routine, routine evidence will do. If a claim is extraordinary, extraordinary evidence will do and is due. But the fact of the matter is, Carl Sagan was totally correct. Extraordinary claims do require extraordinary evidence, and this is proven by probability theory via Bayesian inference. What makes a claim extraordinary is that it has a very low prior probability. The more a claim violates everything you know about objective reality, the lower the assignation of prior probability. If the prior in the Bayesian formula is extraordinarily low, then it will require extraordinary evidence that rules out alternative hypothesis and counters the low prior weighting. From a probabilistic standpoint, the evidence must be strong or extraordinary enough to raise a highly improbable claim to being highly probable. The more unlikely or unique the evidence, the more it raises a highly improbable claim to being highly probable. Or to put it another way, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. To conclude, I want to answer Dr. Game Dew's smarmy and smug question to discovering religion. First off, the statement extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence is not an extraordinary claim, since it's epistemic. It's simply giving us a rule of thumb or heuristic that guides us in reasoning and critical thinking. It's also not extraordinary because it's not assigned a likelihood function or a prior probability, because the statement is not a hypothesis. The statement is a rule of thumb or principle that helps when dealing with hypotheses. And reason, mathematics, and probability theory via Bayesian inference, along with common sense, is the evidence for why one should accept the statement that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.